go, here it comes. Today's project is installing these IKEA cupboards against the wall. So we've got the new walk-in robe, and we've got these IKEA cupboards built, which everybody knows is a bit of a task anyway, but we want to get them flush against the wall. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut the architrave in the right spot and get them, and the corners, and get them to sit flat against the wall, upright into a nice spot. So we'll crack on, and I'll show you a couple of tips and tricks on getting that done. So we want the cupboard sitting up against the wall, but we want to leave this nice piece of architrave here so they just slip in behind this piece. So you can see the cupboards there, 1, 2, 3. We've also got to keep in mind that this is where they end. So we want them to be, it's going to sit just back inside the edge of this wall here, the start of the walk-in robe. The total width of all the cupboards is 1,990. So in a cruel twist of fate, the cupboards just don't fit inside this wall along this edge here without poking out past into the room. It's short by like 4 mil, which is a total bummer. However, we'll do some expert level projecting, and we're going to cut down and modify the end IKEA cupboard because it's just hanging space. So the ones with the drawers you can't really modify width-wise, but the one with just the hanging, you can actually just shave off one part of every side of one of the boards that is the width and get it to be shorter with a little finagling. So I'll give you a show how to do that. But yeah, so a little bit of extra work, but we'll crack on. So we've got some protection down for the floor, protect the carpet. We've decided on that it would need to come inside this wall probably about 20 mil. Okay, so to make it look nice. So we're gonna pick a nice round number, and I'm going to make the cupboards 1980 wide, 1980 millimeters wide. I'll show you why. So if we were to make it right near the edge of the wall here, it'll look poxy because it's going to be like the cupboard will be right there, and then the wall will be right here. There'll be this tiny little lip. So what we decided is that it'll also try and have to have this tiny little bit of architrave here. So to make it look give it a bit more, substance and make it look a bit nicer, we're going to give about a 10 mil gap here. So that ends up being 1980. And then if I transpose that down here onto the skirting board, 1980. So what we're going to do is, then the cupboards will be that wide as well. So we've got our little mini square here. This is never going to be perfect, of course, but we'll give it a good old shot. Going to mark that now. So the secret to taking your skirting board off is, without damaging all the paint, is to score that mark, the line between the wall and the architrave with a knife. Best off would be a Stanley knife. So we're just going to run that blade along with a fair bit of pressure in that corner, and that's going to cut the paint and break the bond between any glue and anything and paint and undercoat or no more gaps that's between the wall and the architrave. Then we're going to come along with something like this, a scraper with a pommel on the back, so we can come down from the wall and we can get and just prise that skirting board off, and we're not damaging anything. We won't damage the carpet and we won't damage anything else. What we're going to do first is make this cut here at the place where we want to end the skirting board. And for that, I've got this. This is a renovator tool. It's a little vibrating blade that goes back and forth. You would have seen them. This is gold for doing stuff like this. You could have it chop it out with a chisel, which I've done before, but it's a lot of messing around. This thing should go straight through, in a couple of minutes. Okay, now those cuts are made, we're going to go along and score the top of the architrave against the wall. Nice new sharp blade. I'm going to get to the end here, and go back the other way so I don't off the end of the wall. Alright, now I've got my scraper. This is a good one, it's got a pommel on the back, it's designed for being able to be hit. And we just gently start to go along. You know, don't rush this. Where I see this goes wrong is people rush it. Just, you know, work towards where there's a nail or a stud. We're getting somewhere. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Just gently prising it off the wall. Oh, there's a nail. That's good. So we'll prise there a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Right. It's coming off a tree. Just just gently work the nails. There we go. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Now just work it back and forth a little bit. We don't want to get the carpet too involved. And we're just going to leverage up a little bit. There we go. Again, I've not got some crazy tools in here. Just gently bringing it out off the wall. There we go. A little bit of force there. And we're good. There we go. Here it comes. Perfect. There's some long bracts in there, look at that. Huge. There we go. Now we can go along and just tap in any of these nails that are already here that are going to be in our way. So now we're able to put the cupboard up against this wall. We can get the distance out to cut that architrave. Let's do that now. Scoring again. Straight on. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Like a glove. So we've got to modify this cupboard. We've got to narrow it. Now, there's a couple of ways to handle this. This room is so small and these cupboards are so big, they've been built in, I built them in here. So that's the way you need to do it to get the cupboards to be in the room physically big enough, okay? So we're going to take 18 mil, we need 17 mil, but I'm going to take 18 just for a little bit of extra wiggle room, and that'll give us a good slip fit. It'll be perfect. So to keep it looking as nice as we can and to keep the look and to make our lives easy, we're going to take the 18 mil off one side as opposed to taking 9 mil off either side. So we're going to disassemble this and take off all off the same side, off the backboard and off the top. We're going to take 18 mil off one side of everything. So what we're going to do first is crack the back off and then get it all apart and keep it laid out where it should be. These backboards are nailed on. I'm going to use this bit of timber with the hammer so I don't crack through with the front of the hammer. And that's a nice wide bit of timber that I'm going to be able to tap and get the nails out. Take the cams out of this top bit. Sometimes they'll come out, sometimes they'll drop out. Line the arrow up with the edge of the cupboard. Hold on to this and tap the edges out. There we go, there's one side. There we go. Get that down. Now we can undo the cams on this side. Tap this one out. Lean him up against the wall. There we go. There we go. So we've got the thing apart. We've got 4 pieces to modify. We've got to take 18 mil off the end of these two for width-wise, and we've got to take 18 mil off the end of these two this way. Now, there's going to be a few challenges. These holes are going to be disrupted or not going to be there anymore. So we're going to cheat. We're going to not use these, but because you won't see the edge of this cupboard, we're going to send some screws through on the side like a conventional shelf would have been screwed in. Then you're not going to know, okay? The other challenge is going to be where these leveling feet screw in. So on this side where we're going to take the 18mm off, that's going to come awfully close. It's going to disrupt the saw blade and all that sort of stuff. So all I'm going to do is screw that in backwards, get the hammer and pop that dog out from that side, wind it off, and that's literally just a hole. It's probably I don't know, where's the ruler? That's literally just 11mm hole drilled through the timber, and then you whack that in. But that's underneath, so you won't see it. So we'll just drill another hole over where it needs to be and put it back in. It's not essentially exact that's in the exact right spot on this board. Okay, so that's our solve there. And I think we're right to go and start cutting. So we're all set up ready to go for a cut here. You'll see I've got my circular saw, I've checked the blade square, and I've got a nice new clean blade on there. And we're going to use this guard to run the saw along. From the edge of the saw here to the saw blade tooth, I know on this saw it's 38mm. So 38 plus 18 is 56. That's where we've set our fence guard back to. Double check that, measure twice, cut once. Now I've got the saw blade will rotate upwards like this. So I've got the side of the board that you won't see, so any chips will be on this side, and I've taped it to protect it and to also help stop the chips. Okay, so here we go. Beautiful. You can see there how that helped stop the chips. Okay, it wasn't ever going to be perfect, but it did its job. So we'll do the other one just the same. And by happy coincidence, the amount we took off left holes, the end of the holes for the dowels. So we can just continue on with those holes and drill them in for the dowels to be replaced. That's they're 5mm dowels. This is a 5mm twist drill. And we're just gonna go straight in there and re-drill it. They don't have to be so deep. Whoop. By the way, I just docked those off in the drop saw. We just need to replicate this hole as well. So that was, I measured before, it was 35, so 35 from the edge, but I think this time we're going to go 60 to get it away from everything. 60 and 60 looks to be about right. We'll go through with the pilot hole because this is the nice side under here, right? So if we go through with a pilot hole, then we come back the other way. We come back this way, we'll have less chips. Nice sharp bit, yep. Go, very nice. Okay, and we're back down to put it all together. So we're just about ready to go back together here. I've replicated everything as it was, but just a bit shorter. And so I've put the foot here back in. I've drilled the dowel holes back in on this end. What we're gonna have holding this together will be the dowels. And then we've made our own screw holes here. I put one here, and one there, as you saw. We're gonna take these out because we're gonna wanna put the cams in place in the holes and glue them in so it looks like it was meant to be there, and it will just look natural, like it's never been cut down. So now it's putting it back together. So we're going to put this one on here, upside down, Miss Jane. This one goes here. Just making sure we don't snag the carpet there. No, beautiful. So I'll put this one on. Get it into place. Yep, beautiful. Excellent. So this is the normal side. This will be pretty standard of how it normally goes together. So we just need to get all these lined up. Yep, beautiful. It's gone together nicely. We can put that cam on. It's just got to be adjusted out a little bit. Oh, perfect. So we'll make sure everything's in the right place. Yep. Make sure that's straight, of course. Then we'll send a couple of these screws home gently. There we go. Not going to go too crazy straight off, just going to get them started. There we go. Let's hold in that one, beautiful. Get in there, make sure that's in the right spot, yep. Bit hard with the right hand here. Excellent. Oh yeah. There we go, we're getting somewhere. It's the same cupboard, just 18 millimeters narrower. Now we're nail the back on. Oh, I didn't show you before either. This back, it folds in half, 9 mil off the side of this, sorry, so that when you open it back out, it's now going to fit the back of the cupboard. Happy days. It's all down. So we've cut the architrave out, we've had a bit of a tidy up. Now we've got a spot for the cupboards. They can sit right in the corner against the wall. So the first cupboard is always going to be the one that we modified. Oh, nice. Now we can measure to cut the hole for this one, for the back of the second one for the PowerPoint. Those cupboards fit in there very nicely. Perfectly against the wall. Mouse hole for the PowerPoint. So we've been cracking on here and I managed to get this side installed. Now, come to find out that the house isn't exactly square, so that sits out a fraction in the corner there, but that's to get all these others to line up. And then this ended up being just slightly out than where I was, so I had to cut that again, but it still looks pretty neat there, I reckon. Now I've been able to modify this one to have that one shorter. I had to build out this one with the drawers and the runners. It's got the jewelry drawer here and this clear top, but I had to work out so I could cut it down where that was going to look and how that was going to be. So yeah, they've got the spacings right there and everything, which is really great. And got this one chopped down. I literally just chopped it off and then screwed those bottom boards back into it. So I'll keep cracking on with building these. I just score this cardboard at the edge. Seems to be a good way to get them open. So you start with your front, have that notch towards you. Get all your gear out on the ground, and then we need 4 of these to go in. Put the dowels in. Put your drawer in. like that, and that sort of clips in. Give it a good taparoo. This one as well. Taparoo, and then put your cams in. We've got ourselves a flat blade. Give those a turn and nip them up. Now we're on with this one. Same again, it sort of it angles and then pushes forward. There we go. Push these in. You can give these a bit of a hammer. We'll do that in a second. There we go. And this one. Can't see the hammer here. We use the pommel. Beautiful. Perfect. That's the drawer done. This one on that side, that one on this side. There we go. And it's as easy as getting the drawer, sliding it most of the way in on its where it's meant to locate, and giving a little nudge, and then you bring it out, and then make sure these locate into the right spot. There's your drawer. We'll crack on with the next one. There you go. It's been a bit of a process, but we've managed it. So we had a custom width cupboard here, which we cut into the wall. I ended up building this one out so we could get the right how it looked, and we've got a custom height cupboard here. So that's your IKEA put together furniture on this side of the wardrobe. So I've got to do this side now. It's going to end up having it'll have the 2 wide ones, 2 narrow ones, and then a custom one on the end, a custom width one on the end here. So yeah, bit of an interesting one for you, a little bit of a challenge. More your blue belt DIY this one, but yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. Happy projecting.